By the 1830s, Britain was the undisputed workshop of the world. Across the island, the pounding rhythm of steam engines and massive cotton mills churned out goods at a scale never before seen in human history. Popular narratives often credit this dominance to a natural environment of peaceful innovation and rugged private individualism. But if we rewind the clock to 1455, we find a different England, an impoverished agrarian backwater tearing itself apart in a civil war. This chart shows the fractured royal family tree of King Edward III. When his descendant, King Henry VI, succumbed to mental illness, it created a political vacuum. The resulting 30-year struggle for the throne between the rival houses of York and Lancaster, known as the Wars of the Roses, plunged the country into anarchy. Before Britain could build an industrial empire, it first had to survive complete state collapse. The chaos broke in 1485 at the Battle of Bosworth. Henry Tudor seized the crown by military conquest, ending the dynastic bloodbath. To ensure his new dynasty survived, Henry VII concentrated authority directly within the crown. He systematically stripped the competing nobility of their private armies and political independence. This centralization unified the country and established internal peace after decades of local warfare. For the first time in generations, the English government was stable enough to turn its gaze away from internal survival and toward the global horizon. This stability allowed Queen Elizabeth I to project state power across the ocean. During her reign, the state began looking outward for the wealth it lacked at home. Elizabeth prioritized maritime strength, investing heavily in the Royal Navy. These state-funded shipyards became leaders in technical innovation, designing ships that sailed faster and carried heavier guns. The Crown weaponized this fleet by officially sponsoring piracy. Privateers like Francis Drake were unleashed to systematically hunt down and raid Spanish ships carrying silver and gold from the Americas. When Spain sent an armada to invade England in 1588, these superior English ships and tactics foiled the invasion. The victory confirmed England's standing as a major naval power, capable of projecting force at long range. Securing the seas allowed the Crown to establish a state monopoly that would define the next century of trade. Britain ruled the waves through mercantilism. This system was designed to grow the national economy by destroying foreign competition through high tariffs and military force. Parliament enforced this through the Navigation Acts. These laws required captive American colonies to import goods exclusively on British ships, ensuring all profit stayed within the empire. The trade of enslaved people, alongside colonial sugar and tobacco, generated massive profits funneled back to London. This era of violent primary accumulation left Britain with mountains of concentrated cash and legally captive global markets. This extracted global wealth became the fuel that the engines of the Industrial Revolution would soon require to ignite. By the 1760s, the combination of accumulated capital and captive demand triggered a rapid acceleration in domestic manufacturing. The catalyst was the cotton industry, an enterprise built on a plant that cannot grow in Britain, relying entirely on raw materials imported from the colonies. British capitalists faced a hurdle. They needed to outcompete the highly skilled traditional weavers of India, but their own workforce lacked the necessary human artisan experience. This early spinning machine represents the solution. British inventors created labor-saving devices to substitute mechanical efficiency for the missing craftsmanship of the workforce. These massive leaps in industrial technology grew directly out of the desperate economic necessity to dominate global textile markets. To protect these new machines, Parliament passed laws that outright banned superior Indian textiles from entering Britain. Domestically, the state intervened again. Parliament enacted harsh poor laws designed to force destitute peasants off their land and into the labor market. Displaced from their independent livelihoods, these families became the pliant workforce required to endure the grueling 16-hour shifts of the new factory system. The reality of this era is a 400-year chain reaction of state centralization, naval might, and militant mercantilism. The Industrial Revolution was the mechanical output of an imperial state. Modern capitalism was built by the power of the sword as much as the steam engine.